Ever have one of those days where everything just seems off? Like you spill coffee on your shirt, miss the bus, and then, just for kicks, it starts raining cats and dogs? Feels like the universe is playing a prank on you, right? Well, what if I told you there's a way to handle life's little curveballs without losing your cool? Yup, we're talking about Stoicism, a super old philosophy that's surprisingly spot on for today's wild ride. Let's dive in. So, first off, let's clear the air a little. Stoicism isn't about turning into an emotionless robot or pretending everything's sunshine and rainbows when it's clearly not. You don't need to sit on a mountaintop or wear a toga, unless that's your thing, no judgment here. It's more like having a mental toolkit to navigate whatever life throws at you. Kinda like being your own life coach, but without the cheesy affirmations. The birth of Stoicism. Picture this. It's around 300 BCE, and the guy named Zeno of Citium loses everything in a shipwreck. Total bummer, right? But instead of throwing a pity party, he starts teaching philosophy on a painted porch in Athens, called a stoa in Greek. And boom, Stoicism is born. Talk about making lemonade when life hands you lemons, or, when the sea swallows your entire shipment of goods. What's the big idea? At its core, Stoicism is all about focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you can't. Can't stop the rain? Maybe it's time to dance in it, or at least invest in a good umbrella. It's like that saying, worrying is like sitting in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but doesn't get you anywhere. Alright, let's dive into some Stoic wisdom. No philosophy degree required. First up, there's this idea called the dichotomy of control. Sounds fancy, but it's really just about recognizing that some things are in your control and others aren't. You control your actions, your thoughts, your responses. You can't control the weather, traffic jams, or your neighbor's questionable taste in music at 3 a.m. The trick is to focus on your own reactions and let the rest slide. Easier said than done, but hey, practice makes perfect. Then there's the concept of living in harmony with nature. No, you don't have to hug trees, unless you're into that and have consent. It's about understanding the natural order of things and going with the flow. Think of life as a river. You can fight the current and exhaust yourself, or you can navigate it skillfully and enjoy the ride. Now, let's talk about the 4 virtues the Stoics were all about. Think of them as the original Fantastic Four, but for personal growth. First, wisdom. This means knowing what's good, what's bad, and what's indifferent. Like realizing that binge-watching an entire season in one night might not be the best life choice, no matter how tempting it is. Next up, courage. Not just the heroic, save-the-day kind, but everyday bravery. Speaking up when something isn't right, trying something new, or admitting when you're wrong, even when you were so sure that pineapple belongs on pizza. Then we have justice. Treating others fairly and with respect. Kindness doesn't cost a thing, but is worth so much. Hold the door open, say thank you, maybe even share the last donut. And finally, temperance. This one's all about self-control and moderation. Just because you can eat the whole tub of ice cream in one sitting doesn't mean you should. Balance is key, folks. By embracing these principles, you're not just learning about Stoicism, you're living it. And who couldn't use a little ancient wisdom to navigate modern life's ups and downs? So, how do you actually sprinkle some Stoic wisdom into your daily grind? First up, let's talk about negative visualization. I know it sounds a bit gloomy, but hear me out. It's all about mentally prepping for challenges so you're not blindsided when things go sideways. Think of it like carrying a spare tire. You hope you never have to use it, but you're glad it's there when you get a flat. So, next time you've got a big presentation coming up, imagine that the projector might fail or your slides won't load. If everything goes smoothly, fantastic. But if not, you've already mentally prepared to handle it without breaking a sweat. It's like being your own life scout, always prepared. Another practical tip is mindfulness and reflection. Taking a few minutes each day to check in with what's going on upstairs can make a world of difference. Maybe jot down some thoughts in a journal or just ponder life during your commute. Eyes on the road, though. It's like giving your mind a mini tune-up, helping you stay centered amidst the chaos. Think of it this way. We regularly update our apps and gadgets to keep them running smoothly. Why not do the same for our minds? Oh, and here's a fun fact. Did you know that Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, was one of the most famous Stoics? Yep, the most powerful man in the world was into self-improvement long before it was cool. He wrote a bunch of personal notes to himself called Meditations. Imagine if your private diary became a bestseller thousands of years later. At the end of the day, Stoicism is all about finding your inner peace in a world that loves to shake things up. It's about recognizing that while you can't control everything that happens, you can control how you respond. Kinda empowering when you think about it. Until next time, keep doing good, stay balanced, and remember, you got this.